Hello everybody, welcome down to our virtual day at the zoo. My name is Georgia, I'm one of the mammal keepers. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm here in this gorgeous day with our Sumatran orangutan family. So first out of the door we have Kia, who is one of our youngest orangutans. She's actually going to be 8 this year and she was born here at the zoo. And joining her on the island is actually both Mum and Dad. We've got Mum, Dana, right up at the back just walking along the pole, and Dad, this very handsome chap, has come down the front. This is Dagu. He's what we call our dominant male orangutan. He's probably, we shouldn't have favourites, but he's probably one of my favourite orangutans to work with. Dagu is, as you can see, a very handsome chap, and he does a really good job of keeping everybody in the family in check. As the sort of biggest, most important male, he does get first dibs on the food. So you can see the girls are keeping their distance while he explores that first Easter nest. Little Kia has actually managed to steal one of the baskets and is hiding at the back, munching on all of her treats, which is genuinely her approach to things. She is quite cheeky, quite sneaky as well. Whenever we give the outside feeds for the orangutans, Dana is always very respectful. She waits her turn, she stays up the top and waits for Dagu to finish. But Kia will always be down on the floor, sort of sneaking as close as she can to Dagu, trying to pinch a few items of food and then running off as quickly as she can so that he can't tell her off for stealing his treats. So for their Easter treats today, I took a few extra items that the orangutans don't always get, like the camellia flowers, but I also picked out all of the best bits from their 4 meals throughout the day, and they're getting them at the same point. So this will be quite exciting for them, because usually everything they look forward to at sort of breakfast or dinner or lunchtime has all been brought forward at one point. So it is quite nice for them. They'll be quite excited to see all of the extra bits that are waiting for them. And then they've just got nestled in some little baskets that we made, which is actually just bedding. So a bit later on in the day, when these guys are starting to get a bit tired, ready for bed, I imagine they'll probably come back out, collect up those bits of bedding and take them back inside to start building their nests for the night. These guys are very particular. They like to have a different nest every day, so they are always remaking it, making it even more perfect. So they always appreciate new bits of bedding to join that, especially if it's nice and warmed up by the sun, which I think this will be by the end of the day. One of the other members of the family who's just as important here on the Orangutan Islands is actually a gibbon called Hazel, who shares their enclosure, shares their space, often comes in at feed times to come and steal their food, even though she gets her own sort of breakfast, lunch and dinner all to herself. She's very, very quick, very speedy, so she does like to sneak down when the orangs are eating and take what she can. She's a really lovely girl. You can see when she moves about the island, she's very agile. She swings around really quickly. And you wouldn't actually be able to tell by looking at her, but she's 35 years old, so she is quite an old girl. She's doing amazingly well. And it's really cool that we're able to have her with the orangutans. You can do sort of mixed species enclosures like this, and it just provides a little bit of extra interest for the orangutans because they've got a new friend to sort of look for and mess around with. And actually she does spend a fair amount of time with the orangutans, sometimes just sitting and chilling with them, especially on sunny days like this. They'll come out and sunbathe together. But also messing around with the kids. She acts as a bit of a babysitter sometimes, especially with one of the younger boys, Janto. She likes to wrestle and wind him up, which is lovely to see. Orangutans out in the wild are unfortunately critically endangered, mainly because of habitat loss. So all of the areas that we would find them in the wild are unfortunately being destroyed quite rapidly due to lots of different trades in that area. So the work we're doing here at the zoo is really important to help protect these guys. Raising awareness, number one, is our priority. Getting you guys to fall in love with the species is always a great thing. But we also work really closely with a foundation out in the wild that work in Sumatra, where this species is from. It was actually set up by an ex-zookeeper who decided he'd leave the orangutans here at the zoo and go out and find them in the wild. And the project he's working on at the moment is to create a safe space for all of the rescued orangutans that they're unable to re-release into the wild. It's actually going to be a similar design to the enclosures we've got set up here at the zoo. And basically any orangutans that they can't release will have this amazing safe space where they can live out the rest of their lives with the best care possible that we can give them. But also they will become ambassadors for all of their wild cousins so that people can go learn about orangutans, learn about how important they are for their environments and see how they can act right there where they're living to help support this amazing species and try and bring them back from the brink. One of my favourite things the orangutans do is if they find something new, a lot of the time it will go on their head. Whether it's a little basket of hay, hessian sacks, pretty much anything we give them, it will end up on their head at some point. Because these guys are from forest, they do like the sunshine, they appreciate the heat, but they don't always like direct sunlight on them. So creating little sun shelters is always quite sweet to see them do. It's been nice to see Dagu actually so relaxed with this enrichment. Usually what happens if we're making Christmas presents or Easter gifts as well, Dagu will come storming out to show off and everything generally ends up in the moat. And sometimes they'll fish it out, but a lot of the time it results in the keepers having to get our waders on or a big stick and fishing everything out at the end of the day. So it's been quite nice to see him just sitting, quietly appreciating what we've done for him today. Thank you so much for joining us today for our virtual day at the zoo. If you want to continue to support us, always come and join us. We love seeing you. Adopt one of our amazing animals, or of course you can join us as a member as well. Well, I hope you've enjoyed everything you've seen today. I can't wait to see you soon.